Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. The Magi here to say, holy shit, y'all, they really went and did it. Not only are we getting a 7th release for the calendar year 2026, but 4, that's right, you heard that correctly, 4 of them are going to be Universes Beyond, including a yet-to-be-announced one in March of 2026. Let's talk about it, what we do know, what this is going to mean for budget players, and of course, what we can expect out of each of these sets. But before we get into all that, take just a moment to like, comment, and subscribe, because that kind of thing really keeps this boat moving. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, right. So up first, we've got Lorwyn Eclipse coming out in late January 2026. This was more or less a known quantity for almost the last year or so. We've been speculating and now it's been confirmed. Changelings are in the set, including this adorable Mutavault Explorer for 3 mana as a 1/1 rare that creates a Mutavault land token as it comes into play. Because, green needed more ramp. We are also getting a return of many of our favorite legendary characters from the original Lorwyn release, this time as modal double-face cards, one side representing the light or Lorwyn side, and of course the other representing the Shadowmoor dark side of that character's existence. You no doubt have heard me speculate that the other 5 Shocklands would be coming in Lorwyn, and we now have that confirmed. Although we've only seen the fancy borderless treatments, we haven't seen the regular mainstays that most of us will end up with. This will create a somewhat awkward phase in Standard where the Edge of Eternity Shocklands rotate out of Standard a full year before the Lorwyn Shocklands. But they have over 2 years to deal with that, and hopefully they have a plan. The second set of the year, expected in March, is a still unannounced Universes Beyond, but the most prominent speculation on this is a partnership with Nickelodeon, featuring none other than the Heroes in a Half Shell, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is expected to be cleared up and verified at the New York Comic-Con on October 10th. Hopefully we can look forward to some great legendary creatures, some wonderful equipment options, interesting vehicles as well, and of course, ninjutsu. Hey, can you keep a secret? Because Wizards of the Coast can't. The Secrets of Strixhaven will be joining the standard lineup in April 2026. We've been given this art displaying the cast of characters, which currently we know nothing about, but I will say these look to be enemy-aligned color pair representations, similar to the original 5 schools that we saw the first time around with Strixhaven. That, of course, despite some very compelling speculation that this was going to be a topsy-turvy mirror universe kind of place that was going to have aligned colored pair schools this time around. This version with the enemy color pairs, of course, is more in line with the fact that Spider-Man featured the aligned color pairs and had no enemy color pair representation. Fourth up in the year's rotation will be Marvel Superheroes. This is going to be a much broader character base than what we saw with the Spider-Man set, meaning that we probably won't have 87 different versions of Black Panther or Thor, maybe 1 or 2 at most for your primary characters. This set, of course, will be represented as Through the Omen Paths Part 2 on Arena due to, digital rights complications regarding certain intellectual properties. But I am very pleased to be able to speculate that the Superheroes set will not likely face the same developmental challenges that we have seen raise its ugly head with the current Marvel Spider-Man set. So let's all keep our fingers crossed on this one and send positive vibes to Mark Rosewater. For the 5th set of the year, and surprise to no one, Magic the Gathering is returning to the Tolkien intellectual property, this time with The Hobbit. And folks, it looks like this one went into production as soon as Hasbro got done counting its big piles of money from the Lord of the Rings expansion. I, for one, am looking forward to seeing the troop of dwarves represented in various Magic cards, and perhaps a less overpowered version of the One Ring. This time probably called something like Bilbo's Ring or something like that. I'd love to see a colorless equipment with flash that when it comes into play, it attaches to a creature, and then that creature immediately blinks into exile to return at the end of the turn. I think that would be a really interesting sort of thing to do with it. The first time around, Lord of the Rings was plagued with power issues, originally being designed for the modern and eternal formats like Legacy and Vintage. So many of the cards were just dramatically overpowered. And then on Arena, it was shoehorned into the Alchemy format and just totally dominated Alchemy for the full year and a half or so that it was legal in it. Again, for absolute power reasons. Hopefully we don't see that this time around, because hopefully this was designed to go into standard from the start. The 6th set of the year is Reality Fracture, and this is supposed to be the story arc conclusion of Jace's created mirror universe reality. We don't really know much of anything, and in fact they went to great scripted detail to not let Mark Rosewater tell us anything about this set. But I'm here to tell you, I believe this set will bring about the return of Slivers to standard. And in fact, I think there might be some kind of bonus sheet involving Slivers, maybe not in its entirety, but at least partially. Or we may be looking at a sliver in every pack kind of set to really make that work as a limited archetype. We have absolutely no confirmation on that. This is basically wild speculation at this point. But I do have whispers coming from certain magical users of the West Coast saying that this is what's coming, perhaps not here, but sometime in the near future. Slivers will make their return. I believe that it fits for this reality fracture because canonically we have always been told that we didn't know where Slivers came from, that they were, I believe, first presented in Stronghold, that they were an early attempt at a planar overlay that went horribly wrong, and they were unable to reverse it. So I think it fits here for an alternate reality kind of thing. Maybe the thing that creeps from beyond the edge of eternities. Anyway, that's my theory, and that's what I think is coming. There is also speculation that this is going to be another one of those sets that shows us 3 smaller planes through some form of storytelling, much the same way we saw in Ether Drift, but hopefully without all the Fast and Furious nonsense. I'd be down for either, but personally, I really like the idea of 2+ years of Slivers and Changelings together. The 7th and, God help us, final set of 2026 has been revealed as the Star Trek intellectual property universe. We have been told that this is not just going to cover something like the original series, which is celebrating its 60th anniversary next year, but the entire Star Trek universe, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, the whole kit and caboodle. We saw some excellent art for the Klingons as well as the Enterprise itself. Certainly it's going to have some very Edge of Eternities sort of feel. Hopefully we see stationing and stuff like that. Ships as legendary items making returns. I think it has the opportunity to be a very good set, despite a lot of people's misgivings about it. My one stipulation on this is that the apparently required food-based artifact item for every set cannot be Gok, and it has to be the Klingon cappuccino coffee that Deep Space Nine was so fond of. If you serve me Gok, I will go ballistic. Now, it should come to no shock to anyone who has been playing Arena the last couple of years, but when they increase the number of sets per year, you either have to increase your amount of daily play, or just have a lower average amount of gold per set. And this time around, if we have 7 sets out of the year and we don't increase our average daily play, the expected amount of gold per set is going to be 73,680 gold. That's down approximately 12,000 gold from the 2025 budget year that you see on your screen. That's a pretty significant decrease there. All in all, I just don't see how free-to-play players can expect to keep up with 7 sets a year on Arena. So something's going to have to give. And I tell you, for me, the first thing that I'm going to be giving back is the Marvel set. I will not be participating in that any more than I am currently participating in the Spider-Man set, or Omen Pass, because, well, frankly, I, as an Arena primary player, resent the fact that my product is different than what I would get as a quote-unquote real paper Magic player. And that will continue to shape my purchase decisions on Arena. I'm also thinking that probably a second set out of the year probably needs to go, but at this point in time, it's hard for me to say what that's going to be. Of course, with 3 additional universes beyond the Marvel set, it's pretty easy to think that it might be one of those, but frankly, I want to get a little bit closer and see what they are. Honestly, all of them I will be participating at a very minimal level, but probably opening only about 30 packs, maybe doing as little as 0 drafts for them, and certainly not buying the Mastery Pass. So, you've been warned, things are going to get lean next year, and we're going to have to make some tough choices. So there it is, guys, what we know about what's coming for the calendar year 2026, as well as what I think about it. But now's your opportunity. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think about any of these particular sets, my predictions, or how you feel about 7 sets in 1 year. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to some of the superheroes in my life. That's right, my supporting patrons. And if you would like to be a superhero around the Stronghold, stop by and check it out. You never know what you're missing. And of course, we have some other suggestions on how you can flex your superpowers.